Every founder thinks they're ready to build a remote-first team until they're on their 4th Zoom call of the day trying to explain to someone in Bali why the product shipped broken. We need to talk about whether going remote from day one is a bold strategic move or the kind of decision that sounds genius in a tweet and feels catastrophic by quarter 2. The remote-first wave didn't come out of nowhere. It rode in on the back of a global pandemic, a housing crisis in major cities, and a generation of workers who decided that commuting 2 hours a day was, in fact, not a personality trait. Companies like GitLab and Basecamp built entire empires without a headquarters. And suddenly, every startup founder with a laptop and a Slack account thought they were running the next distributed unicorn. Here's the thing though, GitLab had documented processes so thorough, they literally published their entire company handbook online for the world to read, and most early stage startups can barely document where the coffee mugs go. The gap between we're remote friendly and we are operationally remote first is roughly the size of the Grand Canyon, and most teams fall into it face first around month 3. The early optimism is real and intoxicating. You post the job listing, get 200 applications from 12 countries in 48 hours, and feel like a visionary. Then you realize your 2 best hires are separated by 11 time zones. Your product decisions require synchronous debate, and someone keeps scheduling stand-ups at 2 in the morning for half the team. Psychologically, remote-first teams demand a fundamentally different kind of trust you're asking people to perform without the ambient social pressure of being seen, which works brilliantly for senior self-starters, and catastrophically for early career employees still figuring out how work actually works. Daniel Coyle, who wrote The Culture Code, argues that belonging cues, those tiny in-person signals of safety and connection, are brutally difficult to replicate through a screen, and the data backs him up with studies showing remote workers report feeling invisible at roughly twice the rate of in-office peers. But let's not pretend the office is some utopia of productivity. Open plan offices were basically invented to make real estate cheaper and then retroactively sold to us as collaboration. The irony is that remote work, done right, can actually produce deeper focus, higher output, and better written communication, all the things we say we want so the problem isn't remote. It's the sloppy version of remote that most teams accidentally build. Think of remote-first culture like compound interest, boring to set up, invisible for a while, then suddenly the most powerful thing in the room. Companies that invested early in async documentation, clear decision-making frameworks, and intentional culture rituals are now pulling talent from markets their competitors can't even reach. The misconception that kills most remote teams isn't about time zones or tools, it's the belief that culture will form naturally if you just hire good people and give them slack. Culture is an output of systems, not vibes. And if you don't architect it deliberately from day one, what you get is a collection of contractors who happen to share a Notion workspace. History gives us a useful pattern here. Every major shift in how work gets organized from factories to offices, from offices to open plans, goes through the same hype cycle of breathless adoption, painful correction, and eventual mature equilibrium. We are currently somewhere in the painful correction phase of remote work, which means the people building thoughtfully right now are setting up for the equilibrium phase payoff. The community of remote work practitioners, people in forums like remote work subreddits, communities built around tools like Linear or Loom, will tell you the same thing repeatedly. The teams that thrive are the ones that over-communicate to a degree that feels slightly embarrassing in person. Write everything down, record your reasoning, treat async updates like love letters to your future coworkers who weren't in the room. So what do you actually do with all of this if you're starting today? Hire for remote competency. Explicitly ask candidates how they handle ambiguity without a manager nearby. Look for people with a track record of self-direction and resist the urge to hire fast just because geography is no longer a constraint. Small team, high trust, documented everything that's the formula, and it's boring on purpose. On risk. Don't go fully async on day one if your product requires rapid iteration and constant realignment. A hybrid of structured sync touchpoints with async defaults gives you the speed of co-location without the talent market. Limitations of a single zip code. Size your remote bets the same way you'd size a financial position. Start with what you can manage, learn the mechanics, then scale what's working. At the philosophical core of this decision is a question about what kind of founder and leader you actually want to be remote first. It isn't just an HR policy, it's a statement about your values around autonomy, documentation, culture, and who gets access to opportunity. The discipline of building remote well forces you to be a clearer thinker, a better writer, and a more intentional leader, which, it turns out, makes you better at everything else too. Whether your team ends up fully distributed, hybrid, or eventually in an office together, the preparation you do now, the systems, the documentation, the intentional onboarding will compound regardless of what the future of work looks like. You can be comfortable with any outcome here if your foundation is rational, documented, and built on process rather than proximity. And if you're ready to take the next step in building something real, whether that's investing in real estate, tackling a contracting project, or finding the right lender to fuel your vision, we can help you get started. So check out our links in the description below.